What up, what up, what up? It's Ray V. Let's get it.
Sad boy.
Sad boy quote of the day.
F
F
ain't
ain't
for
for feels, it's for fantasies. So let's get into our deepest fantasies,
Sucks.
baby.
I'll give you a third for him, though.
Comment section. DJ Redacted asks, do you think there should be a setting that limits how many players are on the trading block? Tired of seeing 80 Mitchell on the block. For real though, man, I agree. There should be at least some gentleman's rule, if not an actual feature by Sleeper, to allow only 4 or 5 of your own guys to be put up on the trading block at a time. I think this would make the trading block less clogged up and easier to navigate for trades with other managers. Use it the way it's supposed to be used, you know what I mean? DJ Redacted also commands, gotta do KTC for Tua and 80 Mitchell next. Please, no more 80 Mitchell. Why you keep talking about 80 Mitchell, man? I hate this guy. But regarding Tua, I got some breaking news. Penix was seen at voluntary training camp yesterday, and his balls looked beautiful. Beautiful, y'all. Oh, and he had some good passes, too. I think there was a clip, he had a really nice tight spiral to Drake London. Still think it's Tua's job to lose, though. Anthony claims, Brees seems like a good trade target after the new contract, but the Jets will jet. No truer words have been spoken. Seems like the sentiment around the Dynasty community is to push him down in the rankings and value for having the Jets stink on him for another, 3 years? It is what it is. The Jets will jet. Today we're going to try something new. I'm workshopping the name, so it's going to be something like Work on Your Teams Wednesdays. I love alliteration. It's going to be my fatal flaw for real. But the point of this is basically just roster construction. I basically be doing this in the DMs anyway and text messages, but shoot, let me make it into some content, man. Let's make it some entertainment. Other Dynasty guys make you put down $5 to get into their Patreon and then spend like $15 after that for just 15 minutes or something like that. That's the one that's always stuck in my head. But damn, maybe one day I'll get there. I'll get that clout and I'll be able to make some money, you know. It's only been 9 months. That's crazy. But, you know, I got to work my way up to that and prove my worth. So for now, I'll do it for free. But, you know, I won't be mad if my boys, you know, my subscribers, you know, they drop some dono Venmos or something on the low for some advice. I do not condone this, though. And, you know, it would just be much appreciated. It's definitely not in my hands, Mr. America Tax Man, please. My hands are up. All right, so the team I finna work on is Sauubreh. This guy right here, this guy that we've been making fun of. Not personally, you know, me, I was just giving constructive criticism. It was the other guys. The other guys in the league were making fun of you, Saul. Hey, man, that ain't on me. But ignore this comment right here. That's V-Ray. That's not Ray V. But Saul was making some moves yesterday. He hit my line. I was chatting it up with him. I was like, hey, man, I would sell your whole team right now. So I can look at his team, but, you know, he was starting to make moves. He was hitting my line. I'll show you the moves made just so when I show you the roster, you know, you'll see it. But I was helping him out. I was like, you got to drop Tyrod Taylor. You got to drop Treylon Burks. I was like, please drop Andre Ilyasovas. He might be good. Who cares? He's a wide receiver 3. You know, he's probably the 4th target on that team, maybe. Who cares about him? 5th target, probably behind Gesicki, behind Chase Brown. And then I told him to throw some guys on the trading block because, you know, he has way too many tight ends. You remember when we went over his team. So he has Isaiah Likely. I said, hey, that's a valuable guy. Throw him on the block. I was like, please do not throw every single one of your guys on the block. Please do not throw Andre Ilyasovas on the block. Tyrod Taylor. Just cut them. Do not put Treylon Burks on the block. Just cut him. And so he listened. He cut all those guys. He put Isaiah Likely on the block. He put Kirk Cousins on the block. He dropped one of his IDP players. And, you know, ignore this comment, right? This V-Ray guy is pretty mean, I guess. Dang, calling him out in front of the boys. But, you know, I was telling him, I was like, you know, me personally would blow up your team. I would blow up your team. I would sell McCaffrey. I would get your first back. Maybe make a 3-team trade so you get 2 2027 first out of McCaffrey. You know, I was chopping it up like that. Sell all your old assets. You know, you could rebuild in a year. You don't even, we call that retooling when it's just a year. Not even a full rebuild. He could have done it. But that's what I would do personally. But this ain't my team. This is his team. So how good am I really if I'm just telling him the blueprint? He wants to compete this year. That's what he told me. So if he wants to compete this year, I can't just give him a rebuild blueprint. That's what everybody does anyway. So maybe I should try to make him compete this year. You know, this is his team anyway. This ain't my team. So, hey, I'm going to try to work with him and try to make him better, make him have a competing team this year. You know, that's how he wants to play. Some people don't want to wait around all year long, and that's fair. They want to play the way they want to play. You know, maybe I think this is Salvo's only league. So he wants to be entertained. He wants to be on it all year long. This is a home league, man. It's all good. So with that, you know, he has Isaiah Likely. You could probably use him in the flex. He already has Tyler Warren. I'll go through his team in a little bit after I go through this stuff. Kirk Cousins, you know, he'll be good, but he's probably more valuable to someone else, and you could probably get a better quarterback, you know, if you package something up, blah, 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 yada, yada, is what I was telling him. Saul made all his moves, made his roster space, and look what he came up with. Chigakonkwo, another tight end. But that was probably the most valuable asset right there. It looks like he was watching my videos. If not, he just listened to me straight up. Added Keenan Allen, he's gonna go blow up a team. We got Mara right here, Jamari Taylor, that's a good pickup. Drop Jalen Royals. Taylor Green right here, Sauubreh with a snipe on Morrow. That's a good pickup. Sometimes you just have to monopolize an asset. Cade Klubnik right here, you can see it. Somebody's gonna need a QB, right? If Taylor Green takes over in Cleveland, we talked about all the scenarios that can come through. If Cade Klubnik comes around and takes over the Jets, even if it's for a year, that's value. That's value gain for a dollar. Even if he just gets a third out of it, let alone if they're starting quarterback, probably at least a second. Come on, that's a free second right there. That's a free second. That's a free 30 for a dollar. You got it for a dollar. That's all you have to do. TLC your team. Definitely wish that Sauubreh came to me, or I should have just went to him prior to the NFL draft, and he would have had Ted Hurst. He would have had. We went through it before. He would have got the 2 running backs ahead of me. He would have got Ted Hurst. His team would have looked pretty nice, and he could have still done all this stuff. Hey man, you just gotta be on top of it, and you could do something. And my boy Trey Harris got grabbed by Mara right here. Good grab. And then 3 hours ago, trade pending. Means how we're going back and forth because he's talking with Jason right here, and I was letting him know that hey, Jason's got good tight ends, but maybe he wants somebody that's good this year. And I knew that through trade talks of my own with Jason and just chit chatting it up that Jason did like Likely already because he liked Theo Johnson, and I was like, John Harbaugh took over Isaiah Likely from the Ravens. So this definitely helps that I know the league and I know like what people value, and I already went through the whole league, what they should do and all that, and I broke everyone's teams down. So it definitely is easier for me to try to maneuver and work with Sauubreh to try to make deals with everyone else. But this was a good grab right here. He was showing me that him and Jason were going back and forth for a little bit, but Jason wanted Cade Klubnik in a counter trade. Jason asked for Cade Klubnik, and I was like, hey man, take your money, walk away. That's what's up. Isaiah Likely was the main part of the deal. Cade Klubnik got added, and Sauubreh wanted Pittman and Wandale Robinson to shore up his wide receiver line. Thought it was a really good deal. They were going back on thirds and fourths for a while, but it came out right here, so you can see it. Cade Klubnik, Isaiah Likely, third and a fourth for Michael Pittman and Wandale Robinson. That really helps him out, helps his wide receiver depth. You got too many tight ends anyway. Cade Klubnik was just a value guy who was going to stash on the taxi, try to sell him for something high later on. So that really works out. Completed. Sauubreh was goated. This V-Ray guy is hyping him up real good, and that's what's up. That's a true friend right there. That's a true friend. All right, so I pulled Sauubreh's team up right here. So we got Brock Purdy, Aaron Rodgers, CMC, who he wants to keep forever and always. Hey, so I'm going to try to work with him to keep CMC on his team. DeAndre Swift, Wandale Robinson, J-Mo, Tyler Warren also wants to keep Tyler Warren. Aaron Jones, who's a really good flex. Jordan Mason could not beat him out. I know they got DeMel and Claiborne, but Aaron Jones in the red zone, always stealing those touchdowns, and they're just going to use him until he grinds all the way away. They restructured his contract, signed him to like a veteran minimum this year. They're going to grind him away. So at least one more year. He got one more year left in him. Sauubreh just wants to try to win the chip now. This is a perfect guy for him. Obviously, if he could trade him away, somebody realizes his value, that's fine. But if they're not going to see his value, use him in the flex. We got 3 flexes. I don't think a lot of people realize that championships are won in the flex game. If you have a good 1-2 flex, if you have a good 3 flexes that are like all wide receiver 2s or something like that, all running back 2s, you're winning. You're already on the upside of winning, getting into the playoffs, and then from there it is kind of just a crapshoot. It does come down to luck in the playoffs. Anything can happen, but that's how you win games right here. We got 3 flexes, so flexes are very important. I know I went on that Mike Evans rant before. Hey, I'll just keep them. It's good. I'll tell you right now, flexes are what really wins you the league. Flexes are what really, if you want the real, you want the scoop, you want the skinny, this is the real. The flexes right here. We got 3 of them too, so that'll really help you out. So Aaron Jones, Michael Pittman, Golden, and he has Zaire Franklin. So he has Kirk Cousins on his bench, who's supposed to start all year long. Will Howard, who will play for Aaron Rodgers, and for some reason Aaron Rodgers is not going to come back for some weird reason. Mariota, you could probably kick him, but Jaden Daniels, what if he gets hurt again? Possible. It's possible. He could be, Jaden Daniels could be in his head. He's doing bad because he's not running as much because he doesn't want to get hurt, and then he's like, you know what, I'm just going to take off one time. Boom, it takes it. Just one hit. Mariota's in the game. Second round pick. Second round pick, walk away. Or you could use him, obviously. Mac Jones, that's a really good. This is probably the only handcuff quarterback I would ever hold in a 2 QB league is Mac Jones, because he's going to get a job next year. If not, Niners are dumb and they're going to sign him to a really good deal to be a backup QB, which is dumb. A-Rich, sunk cost fallacy, but I would probably just keep him. I would keep A-Rich and just hope he gets traded. Go to the Vikings, maybe go to the Rams. It would really help him if he goes to Green Bay and those gurus over there. QB guru, passing gurus over there. there, just help him out. That would be really nice. Trey Benson, talked about him recently in a buy low video. If they're going to trade him, they're going to cut him. Something has to happen. It would really suck if he was the RB4 on the team and then they just special teams him. That's a possibility too, you know, but why would they do that? They should just trade him for a 7th, let him get a fresh start. Poor guy. Isaiah Pacheco, you know, he could always go to the Jahmyr Gibbs owner or something, but he should have enough value by himself. He should be like a David Montgomery light, so a good flex. Maybe I wouldn't say RB2 fantasy value wise, maybe just a flex. But we got 3 flexes, so that's what's up. Jaden Reed, you just got to look at the game plan. You know, if the slots are able to slot that game, if they're just 2-man in it the whole game, nah. Do not play Jaden Reed that week. Keenan Allen, that was a good pickup. He's gonna sign somewhere. He's gonna ruin some wide receiver core. It's gonna ruin it. It's gonna be so annoying. He's gonna blow it up. Good grab. Only $2. No one even bet on him. That was crazy. Juwan Jennings, he should be, you know, wide receiver 3, best wide receiver 3 in the league. No one answered my question, so he must be the best wide receiver 3 on an NFL roster. But he'll be pretty good in your stretches. You know, if Jordan Addison goes down, Justin Jefferson goes down, if he just becomes Kyler Murray's favorite target, you know, 4 or 5 catches a game, that's a good flex. You know, I don't even care how many yards you get. You're probably gonna be using the end zone a lot. They don't really like Justin Jefferson, like when they're only 10 yards away, really. Goal to go. So Juwan Jennings right over the middle, boom, get smacked, catch it right over the logo, crosser, touchdown. So that'll get you points right there. TJ Hawk, you know, he should have a bounce back year. ACLs, you know how they be. Well, it take a year, maybe 2 years to come back to your regular self, feel like your regular self at least. So he has value. Could be cut if you at least see his tight ends right here. You know, he picked up Chig. No one bet on him either. Really surprised about that, especially after I went through my whole video. But there wasn't that many waiver moves. Honestly, I think it was just Sauubreh and Amaro fighting against each other. And Tongus, you know, Tongus will be good for as long as Kittle's out, and then he still got Skittle. You know, my mock draft, I said I hated when people had like 4 starting tight ends a week, but he could really run it. He could really run that Sean McVay offense and just start all of those tight ends. Why would you do that? I don't know. But he has Fred Warner right here too. That should be good enough defense. So we can kick off Reese. We can kick off. We're definitely gonna kick off Pittsburgher. We only do weekly waivers, so you know we gotta work it one at a time, unfortunately. So he's gonna probably get a rookie right here, replace one of his guys, and then the week after he's gonna get another rookie, and then the week after that he could finally just fill this actual bench spot. So unfortunate that it's gonna take a whole 3 weeks, but it is what it is. So his team's right there, and you know he's depleted in 2027. He sent one of those thirds. I think the 3rd and 4th might have been in 2027, if I'm correct. Yeah, so 2027 3rd. Oh, he has his own first right here. Does not have his own 2nd, has someone else's 3rd, has his own 3rd, has his own 4th, has someone else's 4th, and then whole set of 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, full set of picks in 2029. But we could work with that to try to make some trades. When I want to do these, like, you know, if this is a random person that I don't even know and I got to get into the league, definitely what I would do is I'll go to the trading block. Obviously, try to look at the trading block, but we already went over that, you know. But the easier thing to do, honestly, is just hit this trade button right here. I don't know if you guys have ever done this. This is how you make 3-team, 4-team, 5-team, you know, you just how you just add, you know, I can make a 4-team trade right there. It's really how you do it. And this is like the easiest way to see the trading block as well. That's why, you know, I don't know if everyone else does this, so that's why this really bugs me. You know, I'm trying to look at people's rosters. I'm like, Malik Washington, do I really, you know, why is he on the trading block? Dubs, you know, that's a good guy. Good. Come on, Jason. Why we got Calvin Ridley on there? He's probably gonna be the wide receiver 3 still, but come on. I actually use this. Probably other people don't use it. Maybe that's why it's not as annoying to them, but I actually look at this. This is Saul's team. I was trying to work him with Jesh and Mondo. I will just look at their team. So Mondo, you know, needs a quarterback because he's gonna get bent. He only got 2 starting quarterbacks, so I was trying to give him Kirk Cousins so he doesn't have to spend big, or one of Jesh's quarterbacks right here. Obviously, he could spend big. That's fine. Go ahead. Probably should have already done it. You know, send that Derrick Henry his way if you really wanted to. But I think I was sending. I'm just gonna try to do this off the top of my head. Sending Jesh this. Shroud was going to Saul. I was helping Saul formulate this. Don't have to give him all the credit. I mean, they probably assume that 3-team trade was crazy. That one over there. Let me pull it up. So this was the trade that I pulled up. You know, obviously, you know, you never send your best trade first, but I thought it was good enough to where at least they could work on it, talk about it if they really wanted to. Mondo gets Kirk Cousins because he doesn't have a 3rd quarterback. So he gets Kirk Cousins for the year, make his playoff push this year. So Kirk Cousins, a 3rd from Saul, another 3rd from Saul, and a 4th from Jesh, and he sends away David Montgomery and Chris Rodriguez. So I thought this was good for Mondo because of his running backs. Jonathan Taylor O'Marion Hampton, Josh Jacobs, Derrick Henry, Montgomery. Montgomery and Chris Rodriguez are his worst running backs. So he doesn't have to get rid of Derrick Henry, who's definitely going to help him this year. He doesn't have to get rid of him to get, like, if he wants Jalen Hurts, I don't know if he wants CJ Stroud, whatever quarterback he wanted. This is a lighter way to get a quarterback who's probably only going to start for you 2 weeks anyway, but you definitely need those 2 weeks. You know, he's going to play for you on your bye week. If your quarterbacks, if Mayfield or Jared Goff get hurt, you know, you can play Kirk Cousins in the intermediate. That's what I thought, at least. Thought that was a good trade for him. He gets rid of Chris Rodriguez, you know, get some thirds and some fourths back. You know, everybody, you know, when you ask for a third and a fourth from somebody, they always fight about it. When you add a third and a fourth to a deal, they say that really, that's it? That's all you're going to give me? You know, and it's one of the more annoying things. It happens in every single league, not just this league. It's one of the more annoying things. It's like, oh, you know, you're fighting me so hard for a third and a fourth. You say, come on, it's just a third and fourth. It's not going to matter. You know, and then you try to take a third and fourth from them. They're like, that's my whole world. That's a cornerstone piece. What are you talking about? And it's like, I don't know about that. You know, I went through our whole draft. Like, you know, this might be an IDP player. Both of these might be IDP players. You know what I mean? So it's not that deep to me. Usually, if I have to send an extra third, extra fourth, someone's way to make them happy, I'll just do it. Obviously, if I have the assets, but I like to pick my draft picks. You know, you seen me when I took Ted Hurst in the fourth. I was just talking my talk and It feels good to do that, but you know, it's really whatever. Like, Ted Hurst is just gonna sit on my taxi squad. He's not gonna make my lineup. Feels good to say it in the moment. You know, I make videos now, so you can look back on these now. It's cool. I don't have to do that actual pick and actually talk because I did a pre-draft analysis already. You know, Saul right here would get CJ Stroud, Chris Rodriguez, and he gives up Kirk Cousins, third, and a second. So I thought that was good enough to get CJ Stroud. He's been on a down year. He's still young, and he gets another flex in Chris Rodriguez. If we want to take Chris Rodriguez out, you know, that's what I thought would happen. You know, if this deal was still going, maybe take this Chris Rodriguez out, take this fourth out, something like that, or just take Chris Rodriguez out and Saul just has to get CJ Stroud. Maybe give him some fab or something. I think he could get a little bit more. Kirk Cousins still starting QB for the whole season, allegedly, supposedly. Vegas, that's what they said. Give him a little something, but I thought this was good right here. And then Jets right here, he gets David Montgomery and a second, so he gets his RB2. He has Warren still as his like flex and replacement type of guy, and he gets a 2029 second. So that's good. You know, he gets another asset that if he's pushing now, he has another second in his arsenal to try to trade if somebody gets hurt, or if he needs to upgrade another position. Maybe he doesn't like David Montgomery, so now he sends David Montgomery in a second for, I don't know, Jonathan Taylor. I don't know. Probably a bad example because it's Mondo right here and we go into his team, but you know what I mean. He could send you know, that second, and he could send Tyler Shuck and get, I don't know, a better running back or something like that. And then he sends away CJ Stroud and a fourth. We can nickel and dime each other all day, but I thought that was like at least a good enough trade to have a conversation around. But I was told that the trade was rejected. So, you know, we don't cry over rejected trades, we just move on. So if they didn't like it, you know, if they don't want to have a conversation about it, it's cool. We could pull that away. The other one that I was looking at for him would be, you know, this is just me thinking off the dome now. So he got 2 starting running backs. He has a flex running back right here and 2 depth running back. You play 5 receivers probably. JMO, Wandale, Pittman. I don't know about Golden or Reed. I mean, he has to play Golden or Reed. Play one of them at least. So is that 1, 2, 3, 4-ish? Play one of them. And then Tyler Warren, and then he could just play Tongus or something as his third flex. Chiga Conquo, so that's fine. So he is able to make a lineup out of all that. And then, you know, he still got his picks. He has his whole 2029 vault to just throw at somebody if he really needs to upgrade something else, you know, if an injury happens. So, you know, he's good enough to not be the worst in the league. Is basically what he is right now, but we could try to make something. He could try to trade. He's showing me that he was getting a trade done with, right here, number 1 GOAT. I think it was 2/3 for Ramondre Stevenson. It was during the draft. Picked an IDP player anyway, so he probably should have just sent those 2/3 for Ramondre Stevenson. See if he can give a third and a fourth, 2 3s, whatever, trying to get Ramondre Stevenson. That's good enough depth. We know this guy has, from the last couple videos, he got 23 starting running backs. I think he has a 4th one, right? And he has Quinshon Judkins. So this is really his 5th guy, and he could start more than 2 wide receivers a week, so he's fine. I guess we could work a deal with him to get Godwin or something, but we don't have too much capital to work with. I don't want to take him away from all his first unless he's getting something crazy. Alright, so we could try to work something off the dome, see if I'm good under pressure. We know through last couple videos, when I was doing the analyzing everyone's draft picks, and Nick right here and Matty Ice, they need to make a trade right here for Fernando Mendoza. And you know what? Saul has Kirk Cousins, so let's see if we could do something here off the dome. So of course we're gonna send Matty Ice, Fernando Mendoza. Oh, you know what? We're also gonna send Kirk Cousins to Matty Ice, and then obviously we got to send like Carnell Tate to Nitty right here, and then we'll try to figure this out from here. This will be the main crux of it. So just in my head, because Fernando Mendoza went first, Matty Ice got to send a little something extra to my boy Nitty right here. Either that or Saul can send something extra, you know, and even it out, and Matty Ice send something else. So we could see right here, maybe if, you know, like Jackson Dart would be really nice over here, but I don't know if we should do all that. That's kind of crazy. We could always take like Geno Smith just for the value, just for another QB. Jackson Dart would be really nice right here and give him like a second or something. I wouldn't be mad at giving him a first either, actually, for Jackson Dart, even though this guy keeps getting himself hurt. Could just take Geno Smith and walk away. No, we'll work a trade with Geno Smith, and then we'll work a trade with Jackson Dart. So Jackson Dart over here. So I was not gonna probably like this, but I will send his 2029 first here to me. I mean V-Ray. I mean, it's a totally different guy. That's not me. So I'll send Matty Ice a first. So Matty Ice receives Fernando Mendoza. He gets Kirk Cousins and a first. Gives up Carnell Tate. Jackson Dart. This is 2029. But a first is a first. You still gotta value it. It is 3 years away. So it diminishes, you know, it takes a little hit right there, but first, still. This guy loves draft picks as well, so it helps to know your league mates. You know, we can click right here. First. I'll just try to scroll a second, third, fourth, first, second, third, fourth, and his whole set of 2029. He had like, you know, we looked at it. He had like 10 draft picks this last draft, so we'll try to work with it. Nick needs a little bit more, just a little bit more from over here, so we could do a swap or something. Receivers already. We have Tucker Kraft, Auden. Send him like Jacoby Myers or something one way, and then the other way. What does Nick need? Nick has a pretty good team already. We could also just take Bryce Young actually instead of Jackson Dart, just so Saul has someone younger, and he probably gets to keep his first. So let's try to do that actually. Obviously, we take that first out. Send Nick a second from Saul because Bryce Young freaking sucks. So Nick gets Carnell Tate, 2029 second. He gets Fernando. He sends away Fernando Mendoza, and he sends away Bryce Young. You know, I feel like that's pretty nice. You know, he's definitely Fernando Mendoza. You know, the one pick difference right here shouldn't have come up to a second, albeit 2029. Blah blah blah. But he would get Bryce Young for more than a second, if that makes sense, because you know this is the little bit extra that he would be getting off of Fernando Mendoza, that trading back from 102 to 103. If that makes sense, it kind of makes sense in my head. I kind of said it out loud. It kind of sounds weird. Right here, Fernando Mendoza, Kirk Cousins to Matty Ice, and he sends away Carnell Tate. Kirk Cousins, and Saul sends away Kirk Cousins and a 2029 second, and he gets Bryce Young. Honestly, I feel like that's a W. Maybe Matty Ice sends like a fourth to Saul, so it's like he's just giving a fourth up really for Kirk Cousins. So like he's sending a second, yeah. So Saul is sending a second essentially for Bryce Young. Maybe he gets a little bit back extra for sending away Kirk Cousins. Just a fourth, just to give him an extra asset. We could make them all in 2029 too. These are all just trading pieces. This is, please do not draft with this because you're just gonna take an IDP player. Sorry, Saul. you're just gonna hurt. I'm trying to save you from yourself, all right? So I think this is a pretty good trade. You know, hey, let me know if I'm wrong. This is just off the dome, trying to all the pressure applied, and just trying to make something out of it. Feels pretty close. We're pretty close here, but maybe Matty Ice right here. He got to send a fourth to Nitty's way right here, just so he gets a little bit extra. So this is right here. Pretty much Bryce Young for the second. So this is a this is not even right here. You got to give him a little bit plus from the 102 to 103. In theory, you know, obviously we could just all rank these guys the same, and he should have just took Carnell Tate, and then he was going to take Fernando Mendoza, whatever. But, you know, you got to give him a little bit extra. So we'll give Nitty a fourth from Matty Ice right here. We can make it next year's fourth. Hey, let's do that. All right, let's make it a little sooner, a little more enticing to him. It is just a fourth, but you know, a fourth is a fourth, and that's next year, so it's not a 2029. That looks a little nicer. You know, I could send some fab his way if you know Nitty wants to nickel and dime Matty Ice for another fourth. Take another fourth from Saul or something. Hey, I'm all for it. That's cool. I think this is the structure of a trade at least. So Nitty is gonna get Carnell Tate, 2029 second from Saul, 2027 fourth from Matty Ice, as Matty Ice's own pick, and he's gonna send away Fernando Mendoza. He's gonna send away Bryce Young. So Fernando Mendoza and Carnell Tate for a fourth, essentially, and then Bryce Young for a second. Nickel and dime. If you want another fourth from Saul, you want another fourth from Matty Ice, that's fine too. Matty Ice, you get Fernando Mendoza, you get Kirk Cousins, you lock down that Las Vegas Raiders quarterback room, and you send away Carnell Tate, and you send away a fourth. So basically, Carnell Tate and a fourth, or your Kirk Cousins. This is basically what you're giving away. So Carnell Tate and a fourth, kind of what you're giving away for Fernando Mendoza. And they both do go to Nitty right here. You just make your way out of it with a Kirk Cousins extra as well, so you get a little plus. But Saul is not coming away with nothing. He gets a Bryce Young, and he sends away Kirk Cousins and a 2029 second. I don't hate it. Obviously nickel and dime, thirds and fourths, add whatever, but I think the structure of this trade is right here. So I think the structure of this trade really works out. I know Nitty right here, he loses both his quarterbacks, but Fernando Mendoza probably wasn't anything. Did have a backup depth QB in Bryce Young, but he gets Carnell Tate, so he could just trade away. He could trade away anything. He could trade away Rico Dowdle, Rashad White. He got a bunch of wide receivers right here. So if he really wants to throw away Casey Concepcion, that's a first-round pick right there. Zachariah Branch, who should have been probably in the second. You got DJ Moore on the block. You just have to find a trade partner. Go back to Jess. Jess needs some extra depth. You got a bunch of running backs as well. Hey, you can get Tyler Shuck out of them pretty easily. Jess has five QBs, 5-6 QBs. So right now, you only have 2 QBs after this trade, but you have the assets to go get, your extra QBs back and stuff. I'm just looking out for Saul right now. If Nitty wants to throw me some donos, hey, I can get him on next week, next Wednesday, man. I could work some trades up for you and stuff, but this is Saul right here, so I'm working with him. I'm working for him. I think this is a good trade right here. Even it out, blah, blah, blah. But the structure is all right here. You know what? Am I allowed to just send this without me getting anything? Because I'm going to send it. Am I allowed to? I have to be a part of this transaction. They all go away. Oh, that ain't right. Alright, hold up. Alright, I'm pretty sure this is what the trade was. Could be wrong. But it's something like this. And now that I looked back at it when I was clicking through all this, Matty Ice could definitely send Geno Smith this way. And, they could work out a deal for, just giving him a third quarterback. He's going to have Fernando Mendoza and stuff anyway. Or maybe he just sends Stafford this way. I don't know. You guys can figure that out. I don't really want to. This is for Saul. Hey, maybe next Wednesday I'll get one of y'all on and I can work something out and help you guys out. But right now I'm focused on Saul, trying to make this better. I'm just going to make Saul right here because I got to be added to this. So he's gonna give me what? He'll give me $1. So I get $1 from Saul, so I could send this trade through. They can work on it themselves. They don't gotta really include me in this trade. So he gets a second, he gets a fourth, gets rid of Fernando Mendoza, gets rid of Bryce Young. Like I said, if you're watching this video, you can get Geno Smith from him pretty easily. You can get Matthew Stafford, but that's a deal for y'all to work on your own. You can always hit Jesh's line. You got a lot of QBs over there. You got the assets, man. You got all these assets over here to go and trade with him. Matty Ice, this is good for him because now he gets his Fernando Mendoza, he gets his Kirk Cousins. That's he didn't want Carnell Tate anyway, and he just has to send an extra fourth away, and he gets Kirk Cousins now, and he gets Fernando Mendoza, and right here Saul gets Bryce Young, sends away Kirk Cousins second, and $1 fab to me. So that is at least structurally close enough for me where they could work it out themselves. So that's cool with me. I'm gonna send this trade. Hopefully they all look at it. That would be hilarious, and these guys could say something about it. That is hella funny that I put myself in this trade. I had to, man. I was trying to not put myself in it. That is what I would do with this team for trying to be a win now. I'll still hit his line, and I'll add stuff to this video if anything else happens, or maybe I'll give an update like in the wrap up and outros or something. Like every video, if you guys are entertained with Saul's team, or you want to go along with this journey with him. But Saul could trade with JT right here. Gets Daniel Jones, who's coming off his Achilles. Maybe give him Kirk Cousins or something. Plus, obviously, Saul could wait on him since he's just trying to do something. He doesn't love Kirk Cousins right now. You just need a QB3 for the season. That's fine. Just right here, all his QBs. You can see Hurts is on the block. Someone go get Hurts from him. Tyler Shuck is on the block. CJ Stroud. Let's go work some deals, y'all. Number one goat over here also has a bunch of guys. Like I was saying in the comment section, Michael Penix. I don't know. He might be coming over. I still think it's his job to lose. So that's a battle right there. Still a battle with Watson. You might be able to get him on the low because they're battling. No. And who's the other one? Justin Fields battling the doctors of Patrick Mahomes. Maybe Nussmeier. Maybe. So he got a bunch of running backs right here. So if anybody wants to work any of these deals out, I'm trying to let y'all know, trying to let y'all fight each other, hit the DMs, trade with each other, get to it. That is all I would do for now. All you can do is send out trades and just wait. Not everyone's on their phone all the time, checking their sleeper app, so can't really help, can't really give an update right now on what's going to happen. So that's it. That is it for right now. Least. Hopefully I made his team better. Hope you guys liked me attempting to help this poor soul's team. Just kidding though. Sauubreh making some moves out there, and he's coming for that crown this season. That's what he wants. That's what he finna get. Better watch out. Just like him though. Don't forget your daily dose of send that trade. Send it. Send it. That's it for today though. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And remember, rebuilds fade, dynasties reign. Call me a lover boy, simp. Libra, it's more than love sick. I got a fever, feelings overloading. Not to be a diva, standing 10 toes down. I'm not gonna leave you.